Namaskar. Today it's May 1st, 2026. Today it is Buddh Purnima, full moon. On this full moon day, millions around the world pause to remember the life and teachings of Gautama Buddha. Teachings rooted in clarity, compassion, and seeing things as truly as they are. For our Satvik Yogi path, this day aligns beautifully with the sutra we explore today. Yesterday, in day 48, we learned how clarity becomes truth filled. And today, on Buddha Purnima, this full moon day on May 1st, Maharishi Patanjali's Yoga Sūtra 1.49 reminds us that this clarity is different from the knowledge gained from study or reasoning. This clarity is direct. It is not borrowed from books. It is not shaped by memory. It is not filtered through interpretation, or you can say it is free from interpretation. Gautam Buddha called this seeing things as they are, and Maharishi Patanjali calls it clarity known directly. Welcome to day 49th of Satvik Yogi Path. Now, I have been mentioning Satvik Yogi Path is a simple, non-religious, global way of living with clarity. The Satvik Yogi Path is a gentle, classical, navel-centered approach to yoga rooted in the Yoga Sūtra and designed for a global, diverse, non religious audience. It is not ritual, no performance, not aesthetics. It is awareness. It is simple, clean, steady, and honors the original India's foundations of yoga without imposing any cultural or ideological boundaries. And every practice is guided by simplicity, awareness, and inclusivity. This is Satvik Yogi Path. So let us recite Yoga Sūtra 1.49. śrutānumāna prajñābhyām anya viṣayā viśeṣārthatvāt. So let's do this once again. Yoga Sūtra 1.49. śrutānumāna prajñābhyām śrutānumāna prajñābhyām anya viṣayā viśeṣārthatvāt. So let's try to understand as we break down word by word. Shrut. Shrut. What is heard, studied, or learned from others? That's shruta. Anuman. Anuman is what is inferred, reasoned, or concluded. Prajñābhyām. Prajñābhyām. From these forms of knowing, anya viṣayā, different in its object, different in nature. And viśeṣārthatvāt, because it has a special purpose or distinct meaning. So when we put this all together, śrutānumāna prajñābhyām anya viṣayā viśeṣārthatvāt. And when we put all these together, the clarity that arises from deep stillness is different from knowledge gained through study or reasoning. It is direct, it is immediate, and it is free from interpretation. Maharishi Patanjali explains that this clarity is not from study, not from memory, not from reasoning. It is direct, it is immediate, it is free from interpretation. And this is the clarity you see, not the clarity you learn. This is the clarity that you see as it is by yourself. This is not by what you have learned or heard or inferred. So this is, you see, this is direct. Okay, so here is the analogy, and the analogy is very beautiful. Seeing the sunrise yourself. This analogy could break it down, the meaning of the sutra. So you can read about a sunrise. Now, I'll just start with a very beautiful example that you're planning to visit a place and the sunrise point of that place is really famous and people recommend or suggest or share stories about their sunrise experience. So you have heard about it and you have read about it. You have read about the sunrise. You can hear someone describe it. You can imagine it, the sunrise. But when you see the sunrise yourself, that experience is direct. That experience, when you see the sunrise by yourself, by being there and seeing the sunrise yourself, that is direct. And Maharishi Patanjali says that this clarity is like that. Known directly, not borrowed. Some truths are learned and some truths are seen as it is. So, what are we practicing today? Today we practice notice direct experience or share your direct experience. Letting attention rest lightly. So when we notice a direct experience, we let the attention rest on it lightly. We observe a natural clarity and then we soften the thought and then gentle repetition of As we all know by now, it rises in the belly, it moves through the chest, and it softens at the lips. So we'll practice that. Let us begin our stillness practice. Today, I will sit in Ardha Padmasana. So let me show you the Ardha Padmasana, if I can show you. I'll just push my chair a bit and let me show you Ardha Padmasana. And you can be seated in your favorite meditative posture. So here I am. Now you sit comfortably. And when I say sit comfortably, you know by now that your back and spine straight. Now roll your shoulder if you have to, little bit. So your chest opens up and you make sure you're not seated on your tailbone. Now you would, at this point of time, you would notice as you sit comfortably, just notice something directly. What? A breath, or a sound, or a sensation. So anything you would notice, one experience directly. It could be a breath, a sensation, or just a sound without naming it. You don't have to. So let's do this. Place one hand onto your navel, on your navel, one hand lightly on your navel, chin slightly tucked in, and chin slightly tucked in. And you would notice. So your first step is noticing. I notice my breath. So just notice the breath. And I breathe with awareness. And then I do all these things with the smile. Just notice your direct experience, and that is, I have chosen breath. So once you have settled your breath, well, this is just for demonstration purpose, but this will take some time. So once you have settled your breath, you have noticed you're breathing with awareness, you have equalized your breath, you have doubled your exhalation from your inhalation as we have been doing, and then you would have noticed your breath, and then your breath settles. So this is settling of breath. Next, let attention rest on it lightly, which means that you would bring all your focus onto what you have noticed. Now again, you are seated and one hand on your navel. Now bring all your focus, your concentration onto your, it could be a breath, a sound, or a sensation. So in my case, it is the breath. So as you lay attention resting on it lightly, you would don't push it too hard, not too tight, not forcefully, just lightly. Stay with this experience gently. So once you have laid the attention resting on it lightly, we observe natural clarity. Notice how the mind becomes clear, simple, clear. As we lay our attention lightly on breath or sound or sensation, and we notice how our mind starts to become simple. Now, this process in this process, this is where all the thoughts start to come in, and the mind loves to just chase after the thoughts or just follow them. But no, anytime you feel like that, bring your attention to your sound or breath or sensation. So every time it's a process, it keeps mind starts running around, but your job is to just hold it and bring it back to your navel, your anchor. So just keep bringing it back whenever you realize that the mind is getting distracted by the thoughts. The next step is softening the thoughts. So, how do we soften the thoughts? If, like I always say, that one thought comes in, and through that thought, maybe it takes you back to your old times memory, whatever the thought contains, a past or a future or present, or no, not present, past or anything, doesn't matter. It could be present as well, but we are our job is not to follow the thought. So one thought comes and just let it go, another comes, let it pass. So this is all we will do. One thought comes, and as we keep doing it, so we are not pondering over any thought. We are not judging any thought. We are not chasing or following the thought. So eventually, what happens? Our mind starts to, because we are also bringing consciously with awareness our mind back to concentration, concentrating on the navel or your breath. So, as we keep doing this back and forth, and this slowly makes the mind become simple. So, we every time this happens, we just return to our experience, direct experience. So, that's how we soften our thoughts. And now, as we have been able to soften our thought, let us produce the sound Om, gentle repetition of Om. O, ma. Ma is, it's not ma, it's the vibration. So let's practice that. Again, back and spine straight. And we do it 3 times. Back and spine straight. Chin slightly tucked in. And few short breaths, and then take a deep breath in. Oh. Take a deep breath in. Oh. And one last one. Take a deep breath in. Oh. And just relax. and open your eyes. Now, these three are only for demonstration purpose, but you would practice until you feel a difference. I'm not saying that you could feel yoga is it's a journey, and each practice is you just have to keep practicing, and even the experience that you acquire, you that also will take time. But since this is a live stream, this is we have certain amount of time that due to time restriction also, just I'm demonstrating 3 times, 2 times, things like that. 2 breath cycle, 3 breath cycle, just to save everyone's time. So this repetition you can practice according to your time, according to your capacity, your available time. So now comes our contemplation, bhavna. So let us contemplate on that some truths are learned just like the sunrise. You learn about it, but that is not the clarity that you are seeing. That experience can be had when you see it for yourself. So some truths are learned and some truths are directly experienced as you see for yourself. And Yoga Sutra 1.49 teaches us that there is this clarity that is known directly, not borrowed from books, not borrowed from memory. It is simple, it is direct, and it is free from interpretations. So I have a challenge for day 49 for you. And the challenge is that today, pause once and notice something directly. Yeah, it could be the sunrise itself. It could be the sunset itself you see by yourself. And without naming, without comparing or analyzing, you would just notice. You would only notice. So pause once and notice something directly. That is the challenge. Day 49 reminds us that direct clarity is different from learned knowledge. Direct clarity is different from learned knowledge, just like the analogy that the sunrise of that place which you have heard, which you may have read, the experience, but when you actually see it for yourself, that is the ultimate experience that you experience it yourself, and that's the most cl- clear, simple, direct experience that you are receiving. So we practice this, the challenge that you would pause once and notice a direct clarity yourself. So we meet again tomorrow, day 50th. So tomorrow it will be halfway our journey towards the celebration of International Day of Yoga. So until we meet again tomorrow, stay warm, stay open, and most importantly, stay honest to your story. I thank you all, and on this auspicious day, full moon day, Buddha Purnima, I wish you have a fulfilling experience of your practice of yoga. Thank you.